It's time for Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. This program is paid for by Crockett & Sons Enterprises and does not necessarily reflect the views of this station. Hey guys, what's on deck for today?
Mike, the fun continues on Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. When you see the C,
you know it's me, and when you hear the C, it's Crockett
AV. Excited, man. When it comes to mental health, it's something that we push and want to make sure that everybody, mind, body, and soul in harmony and together. So I'm excited, Mike, about this mental health resource fair that's coming up.
Well, you know, I stand for healthcare. I think I am the healthcare man.
That you are?
Right.
Yeah.
As far as making sure that everybody in the community has premium healthcare. So mental healthcare is a pet peeve of mine. It's a child of mine. It's something that I truly care about in the community. And I want to see every single solitary person have access to mental health assistance.
Yeah.
So this community fair is just like amazing. So tell us all about it. We got Miss Taylor, right?
Rowe.
Taylor, right?
Taylor Rowe is in the building.
Taylor Rowe is in the building.
Row us over to this great event that's happening on Saturday, May 18th at the Townwood Community Centers. Tell us, first of all, your passion behind it and what all is going to take place.
Well, absolutely. First and foremost, thank you so much for just allowing me to be here today to talk about this. Mm-hmm. As many of you all know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. But for someone like me, mental health is every aspect of my life. I care so much about people paying attention to our mental health, especially in our community.
Right.
In the Black and brown community, we don't talk about it enough.
Right.
And so my passion is allowing people to have resources. So when you said accessible care, that's why we said, well, let's put on literally a fair, bring out different vendors, different organizations who do work across any scope of mental health, and let the community come see what's there for them. Oftentimes we don't go seek help because we don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So we're bringing it to the community.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what I love about that is let's learn how to deal with traumas. Man.
Right.
Let's
Number
deal
one.
with mental traumas. Our communities are filled with trauma, and all we do is don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
In order to deal with it, and that results in physical health issues.
Because we always talk about, we always talk about when somebody passed or somebody dies in the family.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are told, pray about it. You'll heal in due time.
Come on,
pray,
man.
work it out. But you left with your own thoughts, your hurts.
Your own
you
feelings.
lost someone.
Right.
How do I handle this? What are the resources to handle the loss of somebody?
Right.
And understand.
Yeah.
Well, see, that whole thing is extremely massive. Say you lose your closest brother.
Right.
Right. Y'all every day. Right. Now that person's not there. The things that y'all did together, now you have to figure out how to do alone.
Yeah.
And every time you do it, you're thinking about that particular person. Right? How do I mentally navigate? Right. I call it patterns of thought.
Right.
What patterns of thought do I travel to keep me from exploding behind my loss?
Absolutely. And it's important to remember, I love that you brought in faith, because oftentimes we think that the two are separate. Me going to seek additional assistance when it comes to my mental care does not mean that I don't believe.
Right.
I grew up in the church. I grew up going to Pilgrim Rest Missionary Baptist Church.
Glory to
I
God.
now go to Higher Dimension. And
Come on, don't play with me. Don't play with me. That's my guy over there.
Right.
D Mars. You can't say Higher Dimension without saying Pastor J and D Mars.
There you go.
Yeah, one of the twins
listen,
activate.
Faith is a big part of my life, but I still know that God places people with this profession and the resources to be able to help us even further. And I think that it's okay to know that you can believe in both at the same time. And when you talk about trauma looks differently. Trauma can come from loss. It can come from childhood. It can come at any point of your life.
Right.
And sometimes we look at each other, we might say, well, my trauma don't look like their trauma. It's just the idea that you recognize you need help. And sometimes it just starts with that, recognizing that I need help. So if you recognize it, we need you to show up to this wellness fair. We need you to invite family, friends, anyone who's been having conversations right now. I think post-COVID, mental health has changed across the board. People are talking about it in a way that they haven't talked about it before, but they still always don't have the confidence to go seek help. And so now we're saying, come out. We have the help. We have the resources. We should be able to help you at any aspect of your journey.
And now when you say you have the help, give me a description of what type of resources there that we can call help.
Yeah, absolutely.
We hear the word help but don't know what it even looks like. In the,
what's available?
What's in the mental space?
First and foremost, I represent Forum Communities, which is a mental health nonprofit, and we certify in peer support. So peer support is oftentimes when people go get help, they think about I go to a therapist, I go to a clinician, I go to a treatment center.
Right.
There's an avenue called peer support, which are people who have lived experiences, who've been through a whole host of things, who we train them and we certify to help people on their own journey of recovery. So peer support has been a model for years. If you think about like AA or NA, what do they have? Sponsors, somebody who's been through it, who's gotten the resources and training they need to go help somebody else. So what we do is we push peer support. So there are going to be a lot of groups out there who literally are led by people like you said, let's say you dealt with depression and anxiety your whole life and you found the help that you need. Now you go get your brother on the street and you say, I know what you've been through, sir. Right. I know. Let me help you. Let me be your guiding support. And so that's an example of some resources you'll find there. Organizations that deal with peer support, organizations that are treatment centers. Maybe you need a more extreme case of service, but that's okay. Some people need that. You're going to have your clinicians, your therapists, your counselors. We are trying to touch any scope of help.
I love it.
You know, because everybody might need something different, and we recognize that.
Yeah, definitely do that. Saturday, of course, May 18th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Townwood Community Center, 3402 Sims Brook. Inviting you to come out 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on next Saturday, May 18th.
Now, I got to say, so the NAACP is a partner. Can you tell us who all are partnering with you? The NAACP Houston branch, shout out to Bishop Dixon
Doing
and
great work.
Yolanda Smith and I can't remember his name.
Dr. Joseph Gav.
Dr. Joseph Gav, Dr. Gav, my guy. You understand me? Yeah. We've done many things together, and of course, me being on the board of the NAACP, I'm a firm believer in us getting out here and activating in the community to meet the needs of the people. But tell us more about the partners that you have.
Well, the beautiful thing about this being a community for recovery is it's a community effort. And so you're correct. Not only is Forum Communities a part of it, the NAACP Houston branch, we have TSU, who's going to be a part of this as a major partner, Molina Healthcare. If you've heard of them, they're going to be a major part of this. And then we have another group called the Stimulated Mental. And so we are bringing together some pioneer groups here in the community who are already doing great work all the time to be able to assist with this group. And it's been really cool because we all bring something different to the table. But it's about approaching the community. And so, you know, we invite people out. We're going to be having raffles and giveaways, some great stuff for the kids for all ages. It's free. We're not charging anything, but it's been a blessing definitely to work with the NAACP.
Absolutely. She is Taylor Rowe, our special guest on Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV, a free mental health resource fair Saturday, May 18th. So make plans to join them next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Townwood Community Center, 3402 Sims Brook. Will there be, I know a lot of times you said all of these sponsors, and then you'll have different people dealing with different aspects of mental health. Will there be any kind of like financial support for people who may not be in a position to afford the services?
Right. So we have brought out different groups who may work with various insurance companies or different plans that can help. Because again, it's not about just bringing any resources. It's about accessible resources.
Right.
A lot of people don't always have, you're right, the financial means or resources to go after. So everyone who's going to be here in some scope can be able to help people no matter where they are in their financial plans.
And the beautiful thing about that, especially with us being with the NAACP, I got to say that Crockett and Sons, let me say CNS Insurance Group, will be out there making sure that everybody that don't have health insurance gets health insurance, because the health insurance that we can get you, most of you qualify for free, for real, right? This free health insurance that we can get you covers mental health. And the agencies, the therapists, the people that are out there, the vendors that are out there, accept this particular health insurance.
And it's necessary.
We even connect people with Molina health insurance as well. So it's extremely important that you guys come out and participate, get access to mental health resources as well as access to insurance that can cover your mental health. So we can make sure that you covered. You know, we want to see you here. Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV is all about making sure that you're healed and whole, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, every kind of way. You'll see me bust out in a push-up or something on the podcast, so I will do it.
Especially when this is available. It's out here. You know, a lot of times, and you said it at the beginning of the conversation, Taylor, I mean, the stigma that has been put on, you know, getting mental help for your mentality or for your mind. You know, you thought with church, okay, if I just pray about it and I leave it there and I don't go get the help, but these things work together. So for you, just talk about the importance of encouraging people. Hey man, let's get over these stigmas. Let's get the help that we need. Don't sit with it. Don't put them in the room and say, oh, that's crazy, such and such.
Right.
Let's leave them alone. Now we need to make sure if we're straight, make sure our family members are straight as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the best way to help dismantle the stigma is to talk about it, right? To be honest. And oftentimes we're shameful of our own experience.
Yeah.
You know, we might grow up in households that say what happens here stays here. And we carry a lot of that within us and we never talk about it. But you normalize it by saying, hey, y'all, like, I be depressed sometimes. I be this too. If we have those conversations continually, we make it more normalized. You help break that stigma, and then when you have more conversations, people get more comfortable to go get help. Right? So it takes a community. It's a collective effort for us to debunk that stigma, but we can't do it if we don't be honest about it.
Now I'm gonna say this. I was on the Tom Joyner, right? And when on the Tom Joyner, the gentleman, there was a mental health specialist that had a conversation, right? He gave us a tool, man, I loved it, right? And I'm going to make it quick and easy like he did. He said, he had orange in his hands. He says, so if I squeeze this orange, what's going to come out of this orange? He said, orange juice, right? He said, so now when something squeezes you, whatever come out of you is what's in you. He said, I can't squeeze this orange and make apple juice come out of it. So when somebody squeezes you and all that cussing and fussing come out, that's in you. Right? So now once you recognize it's you and it ain't them, it's in you. Now you can deal with what's in you. Just simple tools like that. I know before we run out of time, can you give us a simple tool and tell us more about how to connect with you personally, websites, all of that? So we can website, social media, the whole 9 yards, so we can come together.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to connect with Forum Communities is literally going to formcommunities.org, and that's FORM, like forming communities, and that's all of our social media handles for sure. And we've been posting a lot about the event and tagging in our partners, so that's a way to also lock in with what they have going on. But the best tool that I can say, I like to have reflection, I journal. And I make it very clear, like, my thoughts are in my head. Let's put them on paper, because looking at them, and like you said, recognizing what's in me produces that change that I need to go after. And so that's a tool that I often say, you know, write it down. And if you're comfortable, talk about it to someone you love. That's the purpose of peer support, and have people you trust. Share those thoughts. Honor those thoughts, and then get some support for it. Yeah,
and you can get that support next Saturday, May 18th, Townwood Community Center, 3402 Sims Brook, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Absolutely free. Of course, Michael had a big mobile clinic will be out there as well. And so if you're in need of health insurance, hey, you don't have to leave from this wonderful mental health resource fair without it. It's going to be a great day. Taylor Rowe, how can everybody follow you and keep up with you again?
You can find me on any social media platform at T Leads Life. That's TEELEADS Life. And I'm always talking about positive thinking, mental health, always just being plugged into the community. I was born and raised here. It's important for my community to get the help that they need, and so that's the way to stay plugged in.
She's just bright and beautiful, ain't she?
We love it.
We love it. Put a C on it.
Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. This program is paid for by Crockett & Sons Enterprises and does not necessarily reflect the views of this station. For those needing business, healthcare insurance, tax, or other essential family needs, call the Crockett & Sons Enterprises corporate office, 281-576-9119.